Today, March 31st, is now Farm Workers Day after state lawmakers voted to rename the state holiday, once named Cesar Chavez Day. Earlier this month, as you'll remember, the New York Times released an investigation that found evidence Cesar Chavez sexually assaulted women. Dolores Huerta, who co-founded the union with Chavez, recently shared that she was raped by him in the 1960s, leading to 2 pregnancies. Within days of that announcement, the state legislature voted to rename Cesar Chavez Day to Farm Workers Day, which Governor Newsom swiftly signed off on. Advocates say the change acknowledges the movement didn't just revolve around one person, but was a collective fight. My CBS 13 co-anchor Dominic Garcia is field anchoring tonight from Clarksburg, showing the significance of renaming this day through stories from those with deep ties to California farm workers. Hi, Dom.
Marley, thanks so much, and good evening, everyone. Tonight we're coming to you live from Clarksburg, California in Yolo County. We are right in the heart of farm country, and this evening our team, we are speaking with people around California with different connections to farm workers. We're also getting answers on the continuing fight for representation and change in the fields. This evening, our team was speaking with people from all around California, again with some different connections, and people who are really going to continue fighting for representation when it comes to this industry. Now, real quick, we do want to start with some fast facts about farming and some pretty amazing ones when it comes to California. There's about 900,000 farm workers right here in California who help feed the nation. California, also the largest agricultural state in the entire country. We produce 1/3 of the nation's vegetables, nearly 2/3 of the nation's fruits and nuts. And in 2024, the state's agricultural sector generated more than $60 billion in revenue. So let's go back a little bit. How did the lives of 2 iconic labor leaders, Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, turn into a tragedy that we know today? Here is a closer look at their work and then this unforeseeable outcome.
During the height of the civil rights movement, Stockton native Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez joined forces to improve the lives of farm workers. By 1966, Chavez, Huerta, along with labor leader Larry Leong, established the United Farm Workers Association, the UFW's main mission to advocate for farm workers' rights across the nation. Chavez would become the face of the UFW.
We're not going to give up. We're in it too far to give up.
Something Huerta would later regret.
When we started the union, Cesar asked me if it would be okay for him to be the spokesman. And I said, of course, Cesar. But looking back, I probably would have said, let's do it 50-50, okay?
Huerta would serve as Chavez's right hand. The union would make significant improvements, including wages and benefits, standards for overtime pay and preventing heat-related illnesses, also allowing farm workers to unionize. In 1993, Chavez died at the age of 66, and in 1999, Huerta stepped down from the UFW. 27 years after leaving the UFW, the labor rights icon revealed she was sexually assaulted twice by Chavez, which resulted in 2 pregnancies. She wrote in part, "I carried this secret for as long as I did because building the movement and securing farm workers' rights was my life's work. I have kept this secret long enough. My silence ends here." And a New York Times investigation reported Chavez also groomed and raped young girls at the UFW.
So those allegations against Chavez, they've prompted swift reckoning with the legacy of really the most recognized Latino figure in U.S. history. So in Sacramento, Cesar Chavez Plaza, a statue of him remains covered. The city's mayor already appointed a subcommittee to rename that area. Then down south in Stockton, city leaders, they're actively working to rename public spaces in the center named after Chavez. That includes a high school and a library. And then in Modesto, the city is asking for suggestions as they work to rename Cesar Chavez Park. So what will this new Farm Workers Day holiday actually look like? CBS's Steve Larch spoke to a labor leader focusing their message away from Cesar Chavez Day.
It's a picture of the sudden problem for labor organizers. the wrapped and covered statues and pillars of Cesar Chavez, leaving local leaders who have planned marches for decades now charting a new course without Chavez's name.
Where does the honor, the celebration, and the activism now focus?
I think that's a good question. I mean, I think those discussions are happening right now.
Carlos Padilla is one of the organizers of the former Cesar Chavez March in Sacramento, now deciding what's next. Will May Day, the internationally known Workers' Day holiday, replace Chavez Day, or will the newly named Farm Workers' Day get the attention?
How much of that do you think can be controlled through organizers like you versus how much of it ends up being organic?
I think it's a combination. I think it's that's why the more people that come to the table, the more representative of a community you have.
How's everything going in here?
Fabrizio Sasso is the executive director of the Sacramento Central Labor Council, on this day preparing for a union fundraiser in a Sacramento hall. His message, the face of a movement should never be a single person.
What we always train folks to do is to ensure that worker voices are being elevated and they're the ones who are speaking out.
Sasso says the quick response from labor groups to condemn Chavez's name is not surprising.
It shouldn't be surprising to folks because that's the appropriate response when we hear about things like this.
The challenge now to replace Cesar Chavez Day is only beginning.
I think those that are close to the movement and that spent years, fighting alongside the farm workers, some of them are still dealing with the heaviness of the moment.
And it was interesting. Steve added Padilla didn't anticipate any celebration of Farm Workers Day today. He said the Chavez revelations are just too fresh and Farm Workers Day is just too new. While they harvest the food we eat, roughly 1/3 of all California's farm workers are actually women. As many as 80% say they're also battling harassment, assault, and just fear on the job. Your reporter Madison Keevy getting answers on the push to keep them safe and feel supported.
Fear, isolation in the fields, language barriers, and immigration status still put farm workers at risk of exploitation. And now advocates say with Dolores Huerta speaking out, more women may have the courage to do the same.
Hola, soy Zaida. Trabajo en agricultura. Tengo más de 7 años de estar trabajando.
The once unspoken experiences of women farm workers are now front and center.
Algunas de nosotras sufrimos acoso por parte de compañeros o jefes.
She says some experience harassment from coworkers or bosses, but keep quiet for fear of retaliation and threats to their lives.
I've been doing this for more than 25 years, and I have heard every single reasons why they have not reported. They stay quiet because, the fears.
According to the Center for Farm Worker Families, women in the fields face harassment, threats, and assault. 8 out of 10 in California say they've experienced it. That's why Líderes Campesinas was created by women for women to fight abuse and help thousands learn to stay safe and speak up.
And we give presentations about what sexual harassment is, what sexual abuse is, because again, a lot of the farm worker women don't know.
They help women every step of the way, from medical care after an assault to legal support, reporting, and protection from retaliation.
Hoy vamos a hablar sobre los derechos y cómo reportar.
The group holds community meetings where women farm workers can learn about their rights.
When women hear other women speak up, and I'm saying here in my community, we had cases of women speaking up for the first time in meetings because they get the courage, like, okay, if she could do it, I could do it, right?
Over the last 30 years, women farm worker groups, they have pushed growers and buyers to adopt policies that keep women safe, including leading federal and state investigations into sexual abuse on farms, leading to laws that mandate sexual harassment training.